right, well, I'm sure that was a fun game to watch once it got started, especially if you're a South Carolina fan. My hat's off to the South Carolina program, the job they did. Our guys, I think they definitely played hard. I think we wanted to win, obviously. I think we played hard enough to win, but we just didn't seize the moment, especially after we get that big turnover deep in the territory and get 0 points out of it. Just very disappointing right there. And no matter what happened throughout the day, that was a moment where we had a chance to, at worst, tie it up. We were not able to do that. And ultimately, well, it's one of the things that got us. It's one of the things that got us. We could have got another stop. There's a lot of things to that. But it would have been nice at that moment as the game was going to take advantage of that big turnover right there, and unfortunately we did not.
Marshall makes 20 in a row before he misses those two.
Yeah.
What's the conversation with him? What was the issue?
I didn't say anything to him. Not that I was ignoring him. It just, you going on to the next play, pretty much. I didn't get a chance to see him in the locker room. Yeah, I mean, he broke an SEC record, I guess, for most kicks in a row. And then misses a couple, which is not normal for him. And I was watching pretty close. I didn't see anything. And I didn't see any issue with the snap or the hold. It looked fine. And one of them looked like it went almost right over the top of it. But obviously, the officials thought it was out, and I'm not really questioning that. But usually he's right down the pipe, and there's not much drama when he goes back there to kick. So he'll get back on track. He's a great kid.
Mark, they were continually getting receivers open, especially in the first half. Is that just kind of break down?
Well, part of the problem was we just really didn't put much pressure on the quarterback. Our four-man rush really didn't even squeeze the pocket as far as I could see. I thought he had a lot of time to stand back in there and side it up and hit it. There were some times we had some tight coverage and made nice throws, and there were some times we just didn't cover well enough. But, I think we got a little bit better in the second half. We tried to pressure a little bit more in the second half because we just weren't getting much from our four-man rush. Their offensive line did a nice job.
Can you talk about the call on 1st and goal at the 4? I mean, Hudson said, I guess it was a fake toss to Todd. And then when the intentional
Yeah, I mean, it's a play that looks good when you put it in. But it wasn't very good that moment.
Can you talk a little about third down? You guys struggled offensively.
Yeah, first half didn't get any third down conversion. Second half did a lot better. We were 0 for 4 in the first half, and where we finished 5 for 12. So that'd be 5 for 8, and then one of them we went on 4th down. So it's almost like going 6 for 8 on those drives. So did a lot better in the second half. Didn't do much for anything in the first half, and I think their third downs in the second half. I don't know if they converted one in the second half. That's one thing we talked about at halftime. They did a better job on third down, and that was probably what got us back in it.
Did you think y'all stopped them right there at the end?
It was just so hard to tell. Really tough.
Did the kids think?
Well, yeah. I mean, anybody out there. No one really had a good vantage point. Even where I was standing, it was just such a big scrum in there. It was really hard to tell. I think a lot of it had to do with where the ball was on his body. Was it on his chest? Was it down by his belly? His button? I don't know, by his waist. I mean, I just couldn't tell where the ball was. And even at the end, if you had a credit card, we might could have slipped one in there.
Mark, is there any way to take the guesswork out of a situation like that?
Guesswork out of what?
Spotting the ball,
Not unless you have some type of a gadget on the ball that could maybe put a GPS system on it.
I mean, is that hard to take knowing what's at stake in all of these games? Comes down to
Yeah, but you know what? We still have got a wonderful opportunity to win a lot of games and get right back to Atlanta. And, so we know there's a lot of football to be played. But it's one thing about our league. It's such a great league that, if we can get back on track, we can get back where we want to go.
What did y'all do during the delays? Obviously, both teams had to experience that, but what were you?
Well, we kept, in the beginning, we knew we were gonna have 20 minutes to warm up, so we were just trying to get that plan, what that would look like. And then we actually started on that, that path, and then we had to come back in. Then all of a sudden it became, 10-minute warm-ups as far as what was gonna happen a little bit later on. And a couple times we were in the locker room beginning to stretch in the locker room, and then I was getting ready to give kind of a pregame talk before we hit the field. We did 2 of those, and I thought my second one was better than the first one. So, but you're just trying to be ready when the time comes, and then when they delayed it another 30 minutes or whatever it was, then you had to sit tight, usually 10 to 15 minutes before you started all over again. So about 3 times we started it, and the third time we got it going.
Coach, obviously you won 4 of the last 5 in this series. How do you feel about the way that's going? I mean, obviously you prefer to be different than that.
Wish we won. Wish we won.
They didn't exactly stop Grilly. They kind of slowed him down in the second half. Did they do something different in the second half?
They did. They just played good ball. They did a couple things. They did a couple pressures where they would, rush their Sam and Will linebacker maybe a little bit more, kind of squeeze the gaps, or just line up in what we call a double eagle a couple times, or we thought they were kind of a bear look, Chicago bear look. They either, I'm not sure if they lined up, but they kind of pinched to it from a couple times, a little bit different. But and unfortunately, that long run he had got called back. That have put him around 200 yards, but didn't work out that way.
Coach, obviously